I can't quite believe that I'm talking about staplers, but I am, on my morning walk into the heart of Edinburgh on a glorious day with the sun slightly making this video a bit hard to see. But I'm talking staplers, and if you've been fortunate enough to get a positive review, some good pull quotes, a good star rating, as stars seem to be everything here, or maybe a banner from Fringe review, and that you're happy. And the story now at the Fringe is to create some real-time good news by stapling those review quotes onto your flyers. Then I think you really do need to at least consider some of this practical advice from the Fringe review team, and also from you, from the people that make the work and have shared this with us over the years. Staplers, staples, of course, from Ryman, quite expensive, from Poundland, a bit cheaper, but is it a false economy if it keeps, because it's a crap stapler, it keeps not putting the staples in properly? Get a good stapler, share the love, you might share it with others. If you're all living together, several shows, friends you've made, it could be that you need your own stapler, or it might be that you decide to share one. My suggestion is really be clear about what you print out in terms of the quotes. There needs to be space for the stapler, ideally above would be better, or right to the left or the right. The pull quotes should not overlap the flyer, because they just bend and tear, so they're going to fit within the size of your flyer, whether that's A5 or A6. They're going to be big enough, and the font is going to be readable. The quote won't be too long, but it won't be too short either. It doesn't really say anything. There's no point in using astonishing, captivating, the kind of chat GPT cliches. Find a really good pull quote from your review to put below your stars. Some people just put the stars, and I think that's diluting, because the review itself will say things that are going to draw people in. This is the age where people don't just buy superficial hype. You might think they do, but I don't think they do at the Fringe. Money is tight. And even if it's a free Fringe show and people are going to put money in a bucket on the way out, and maybe they did, maybe they stuck a tenner in because they loved your show, and that's been reflected in good reviews. I think the review deserves it, but also the audience deserve it, and are more likely to make a choice if you put at least a phrase, if not a full sentence. Don't put long paragraphs that are too small to read. Certainly, as I've mentioned, don't use kind of like handwriting fonts or silly fonts. I just think a really good newspaper style font, Arial, is absolutely fine. Times New Roman if it's big enough. It just needs to be readable. And it also needs to be slightly readable from a distance, because people sometimes lean over when they're having coffee and they look at a flyer without picking it up. So just make sure you just maximise the benefit from that review within the flyer that you're putting it on, or of course the posters. Perhaps the biggest error that people make is they're so excited with their stars, is it actually gets put somewhere on the flyer that is actually diminishing the communication the flyer is supposed to get across. Some people put it on the image, some people stick it over the title of the show, but worst of all perhaps is to stick it over where it's happening. Now of course people can open, a bit like a gate, the stapled on bit of paper, so just make sure that you're not stapling over the key information that makes that impossible. If you've got lots of reviews, I would certainly prioritise, and actually one of the best things I've seen is not just loads and loads of separate bits of paper, but someone summarised those star ratings, if they've been fortunate enough to get several reviews, onto a small bit of paper, so they're all on the one bit of paper and you staple that. Then it becomes really important that that fits within the size of the flyer, and also can be really easy pulled back to show any information that's underneath. But the overall principle is locate the star ratings and locate the staple in a place that does not in any way cover the key information about your show, particularly the title. It can be a joyful thing, it can be a tiring thing, and that's why it's better not to do it all in one go. If what's actually happening is, as you staple, you lose the will to live, it feels like an office job, perhaps you were trying to flee by coming up here or going into the arts. keep it consistent. Don't let the staple drift across the next flyer. Don't start doing it at a weird angle just because you're getting tired, and it would be better to do it for 20 minutes and have a break, or share the load with other people. So just a little bit of wisdom around stapling flyers onto your posters. Sorry, stapling quotes, star ratings onto your posters. Now, if you start getting reviews in later, you can obviously add to the same flyer new quotes, but just again look to be consistent. It shouldn't be chaotic. So you might think ahead. You might think, if I put the quote here at the top left, there's space below for a new review that comes in a few days' time. I mean, I'm a fan of neatness simply because chaos isn't a great thing at the Fringe. So having kind of quotes all over the flyer make them look messy. They tend to tear, as I said, they tend to fold, and you need to be in control of what you're putting onto your flyers. So hopefully you're getting reviews, hopefully you're getting good star ratings, as that's the currency up at the Fringe. But do that bit properly, because it's like augmenting your flyer with good news, and it might just increase your ticket sales.